Hello, guys. So we are live. So I think times fly because it's been a while since we have created this community, and here comes to the sixth session of the Digital Space Community event. And today we are going to have another fireside chat session, and I will introduce who will be our guest later on. So I'll just introduce about myself. So my name is Zijan. So I'll be the host for today's session. So I'm not too sure because there are so many members who are in this group. I mean, throughout the past 6 weeks. So I'm sure that I've seen some of them who commented in the post, and some of them who have already, communicate or even interact with each other. But I'm just curious, which industry are you guys from? So probably, if you are in particular industry, for example, manufacturing or tech or even digital marketing. So perhaps you can just comment down there and just let us know which industry are you from so that everyone could know each other better, because I'm sure that a lot of people are in here, people who needs help, people who are industry expert, but probably we may actually know each other better from this live session itself. All right. So while waiting for more people to come in, so probably we'll just wait 2 to 3 minutes more until we start this session. So for those who are new to this group, if you're wondering what is this group all about, so maybe I'll just walk you guys through very quickly on what this group all about, okay? So basically, the digital space, why is it called the digital space? Because we realize that the digital space is changing so rapidly almost every day. So from social media algorithm to digital strategies. So therefore, we hope that we can actually gather industry experts. So the expert today will be Charmain from QuickDesk, and like people like Charmain in the group, and also for those who are seeking for digital help to come together and exchange ideas so that everyone could actually have the first-hand industry insight on digital stuff and also get continuous support in whether or not it's in their career or whether or not it's in their business. Yeah. So if you have anything you'd like to share or you like to seek for help, so feel free to post your thoughts and what you can offer or what you would like to ask in the group. So I think a lot of them would more than happy to help out, or the community will be much appreciated on what you're going to share to the community. All right. So so I think without further ado, I think there are some people in the group in this live session already. So if you have any question to ask Charmain, so Charmain is the founder and CEO of QuickDesk. So Charmain is from Singapore. So if you have any question to ask about today's topic, which is B2B automation in sales and marketing, so if you have any question about this topic, so feel free to type your question, or even you have any thoughts you like to share, just so feel free to just type in the comment box below, and be answering all the questions from the floor in a bit. All right. So without further ado, we'll just invite Charmain to this stage. Hi, Charmain.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Everyone say hi to Charmain. So I think before we start this, the very first question of this fireside chat, perhaps Charmain, you can just do a very quick introduction about yourself and also about QuickDesk.
Hi, I'm Charmain from QuickDesk. So I've been running business for about 10 years now. QuickDesk have been around since 2014. We use a blend of high tech, which is technology, and high touch, which is education, to really help businesses to transform their sales processes from doing all the traditional modes to all the digital sales. And of course, on top of that, what else we also do is that we help businesses to automate their communications. Anything related to helping you to drive better sales productivity is something that we are interested in.
I see. Does it mean that it kind of suit to all the industry, regardless of which F&B or even in tech industry, so everyone will actually fit into your solution? I would say that.
I wouldn't say just about tech industry, but any businesses that really see a need about you're constantly going out there to close more sales and wanting to really have the process being automated, so that as a salesperson, you can just focus on doing what matters most, which is to build relationship, to understand the needs, and to offer solutions that could be of value to them.
Understand. Yeah. So whoever who thinks that this is for you, so please stay tuned and to stay out for whole session. So because we are going to, Charmain is going to share more things about B2B automation on sales and marketing. All right. So Charmain, so I think a lot of people would like to know that how do you actually get started in your industry? Do you study tech back in uni, or Do you have any experience back then? Yeah.
Okay, so I actually never really like studied tech before, and I always told my friends when I was in school, I'll never run a software company because like programming was so hard, right? Yeah, like my
Yes.
first module in entering uni was Java, and I was like, oh my goodness, like how am I gonna build a minesweeper with like, yeah, then those 1010 looks like foreign language. So but so what I did was I started my first company inventing winter gloves for touchscreen device, which you can use on iPhone, iPad, out in the cold. And the problem that I realized then was that, yeah, it was a great product, but first thing first, as a hardware, it's very capital intensive, and it required a lot of like we do manufacturing, we manage inventory, we do logistics. And I mean, it was a great product, great innovation. We patented it, we sold it globally, but sales was just not enough. And that was then that I realized like, hey, like even with the best product in the world, with the best innovation, if you can't sell, you can't market, it will still be obsolete. So what really matters is having a balance of doing a great product as well as doing great sales. And sales is the bloodline of every business. So when I was in the startup ecosystem, we were all celebrating fundraising. Interestingly, not many people celebrated revenue. And yet revenue is the one that sustains a business. So I was asking myself when technology changed, hey, what is one thing that I would have done differently and I wish I knew? And I wish I knew how to do sales more effectively and efficiently. And second thing was when I look around me and see all the startups dying, I ask myself, what is the one common denominator that led them to, the grandfather or like end the business? It's actually the lack of funds and the lack of revenue. So if every company could do well in sales, then companies will not have to die. Great products could be more out there. So in my very idealistic world, I'm like, okay, how can I use technology and education to really help more businesses drive sales and also help myself drive more sales in whatever I intend to build next?
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you have said just now. I think a lot of people celebrate like fundraising but not revenue. But I think the revenue, like what you say, is the bloodline of every business, right? I think every business will need sales or will need revenue to sustain their team or even their businesses. Yeah, so I think just like we have mentioned that you have been in the industry for like 10 years. So I think this is a very great question to ask you. I mean, we have insights throughout 10 years. So how has the B2B sales and marketing cycle has changed over the past 10 years? And what are the latest or practical technologies out there that businesses can actually adopt? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I realized that, over the past like many years, I think especially during COVID, right? Like
Mm.
in the past B2B sales, we know we are talking to different stakeholders, it's it's not a straightforward like, oh, you like me, I like you, you buy from me, it's not that straightforward because there is a whole element whereby you are influencing different stakeholders within an organization. But that said, there's also certain people who are decision makers, influencers, and there was before COVID a huge chunk whereby you need to meet them face to face, and being able to do sales by building first the relationship with them. Of course, when COVID came, everybody, be it Malaysia, MCO, Singapore, we also have our mini lockdown, circuit breakers, everything went on Zoom. So I realized that two things happened. One, virtual selling, remote selling became a norm. In the past, if you tell like some of my clients are then like, hey, no, sorry, I can't go to your office. It's like, can we meet on Zoom? They were like, no, I won't meet on Zoom, right? It's like, no, not
Yes.
sincere.
Yeah.
But with COVID, it's like, okay, like Zoom is by default. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think virtual selling, remote selling has become a norm. That's one. And second thing is that because of that, buyers are also a lot more informed. And we all know, right, at a period of time, let's say I'm talking now on live streaming, people are also Googling about what's QuickDesk. And the same
Yes.
thing, whenever I'm selling my solution, people are also Googling about us, Googling about competitors. Buyers are a lot more informed. And therefore, relationship alone will not suffice. There is a whole need for businesses to really know what do they stand for? What are they unique? What kind of like thought leader are they? So I've seen that now relationship matters less. Being more informative, being more educational has become a lot more important. And the way of prospecting has changed, right? Of course, during lockdown, there is no way I can go and knock doors. There's no door that is
Yes.
open. So how do you knock door virtually and digitally? We knock on LinkedIn doors. We go LinkedIn outreach. We do prospecting on LinkedIn. In the past, people always doubt that, email sequencing is not working, but email sequencing has worked as of late because everybody is just constantly beside their laptop. We see businesses going from seminars to webinars, and so I guess the way things have changed is in a lot of the practical day-to-day sales operations. It's no longer about and going out there and meet people, but staying by your computer to meet people. And interestingly, I realized that salespeople can actually become more productive. In the past, if you're meeting a person face to face, you had to factor in travel time, maximum 3 to 4 meetings a day. But now with Zoom, you can do 8 to 12 meetings a day, depending on how long each meeting lasts. So I guess this is where changes are, and businesses can no longer fluff, right? Everything is all Googleable on the spot. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's very true. That I think especially these 2 years that pandemic has changed the entire scene of B2B. And I think a lot of people would need to actually adapt. I mean, not only salespeople and also the companies who are actually running on traditional ways, right? So I think I'm sure a lot of platforms out there, are offering such services. But how QuickDesk actually, make it so easy for the businesses to come on board? Because when you just mentioned just like anyone who who need to focus on sales and marketing, they can actually come on QuickDesk. But how can you actually differentiate from the competitors? And also, why couldn't an in-house tech team do the same? Because a lot of people think that, okay, when I need a solution, I just ask the tech team to do it, since this is a tech platform, right? So why couldn't a tech team by the company itself would actually do the same thing as you guys? Yeah.
Okay. So I think something that is very interesting is that, so when we go to businesses, I think CRM or even sales automation, marketing automation is not something completely new. Businesses know about it. They know the importance of it. The difference though is that they do not know how to make it relevant for their own processes. And a lot of technologies out there, they look like easy to use, but when you go in and if you do not understand the logic of the builder behind the product, like why it's built in a certain way, what is the correct flow to use it, you actually can get lost in softwares. And so I would normally, so why businesses actually get from us is because we always start with asking them a question. What's your business objective? What's your marketing objective? What is your current sales and marketing process? And we cater the solution based on understanding their business and their processes and how to digitalize and optimize it. So one thing that I guess we have realized why businesses struggle sometimes to take on like softwares and go back to their Excel spreadsheet, paper and pen, is because they do not know how to make the software work for them. And there's a lot of fear and resistance. So the second question you asked is, so why can't a tech team do that? Interestingly, I think a lot of tech teams in bigger businesses or businesses, they don't really focus so much about helping the marketing side. They help more on the operation side. Ideally, in the sales and marketing realm, there should already be a ready-made software that businesses could adopt. So that's why businesses take up our solutions like us, because we go in and say, okay, I now understand where your marketing and sales process is. This is how we believe we can use technology to really automate the day-to-day processes and let the salespeople focus on just doing closing and serving the customers.
Understand. Yeah. I think I kind of agree on that. But I think when you mentioned that QuickDesk actually cater, solution based on what their objective are, right? So by catering all these solutions, right, wouldn't be this sales representative out there because there's no door to knock, like what you said previously, and or maybe they kind of meet customers through Zoom and stuff. So would this sales representative be replaced by these automation tools, or this automation tool actually save their jobs, for them to stay relevant in this pandemic?
Yeah. In fact, when a lot of businesses say like, oh, maybe do I need like 10,000 leads to 20,000 leads, 30,000 leads before I can close more? Actually, it's not the number of leads you get. It's the number of qualified leads you get. And I would say that automation, so what is automation do for? Automation cannot replace humans, right? Automations are not meant to replace humans. Automations are meant to allow humans to make more meaningful conversations. So what does that mean, right? So whenever businesses say, hey, can I completely automate myself? I say, can. You can automate prospecting. You can automate leads nurturing. You can automate the follow-ups. but you cannot automate the ability for a salesperson to be that trusted advisor or consultant to your business, because that element of being able to identify the need from a customer and serve them based on the need is not something that can be automated. So what exactly do automations do? Automations just help you to fish. Like I always say, sales is like fishing. They help you to fish for the right fishes. And then the salesperson, who is the fisherman, has to go down and like work with the fish lah. So I guess what would a salesperson need to do now? Be a lot more informed and be that consultant and trusted advisor for the client. Yeah.
Okay. I think it sounds. I think for those who are actually listening to this right now, if you're a salesperson, so no worries about automation tools to kind of replace your job in the future. But you need to know how to actually utilize on the tool and help you in your processes, right? So I think what you have said, I think I totally agree. But probably you can give us some use cases that businesses can benefit from automation, and how has it been for those companies who actually implemented these strategies? Yeah.
Okay. So I can give a few key examples lah. So generally, one trend that we have seen in, it's not for us, we also do education. So one part of education we realize is that we could have a mix of B2B and B2C. So in terms of getting people who are interested in our education program, we realized that email automation really worked because they already know about our program at the start of time. And we are always sharing testimonials, we are always sharing case studies, and then telling them we automate the processes based on every sign-up period, because the sign-up period for each cohort is fixed. So we let automation do the work in updating them of the sign-up period and also sharing with them case studies. And then later on, the salesperson will come in and say, okay, if you are interested, you have booked a call with me. What is the documents we need to collect from you to get you enrolled in our class. Yeah, so that has really helped us a lot. In fact, like more than 25% of our sale is actually just from emails alone.
Nice.
Second thing that has really worked out for us in the B2B sales consultancy space is that whenever we need to like run events like what you guys are doing now, like live stream, we just automate based on like the follow-ups, reminders to come for our events. And a lot of our event sign up actually came from emails too. So automations have played a significant role in allowing a salesperson to just be a consultant. Yeah. So I guess that's how automation has helped businesses. And in B2C, of course, a lot of businesses have been e-commerce. Automations could also help them in the whole like e-commerce purchasing and buying processes.
Yeah. Understand. Yeah, probably I just wanted to, I think I saw a question here. Maybe you can actually talk about on that, because someone actually asked what's in store for a salesperson on the go. So is there anything that a salesperson on the go can actually use it?
What do you mean by what's in store for a salesperson on the go?
Yeah, so probably maybe Lisa, you would like elaborate more about what's the question about. So probably Charmain could actually attend to your question. Yeah. So yeah, I think before we move on to the final question, I think I'll just get a few questions from the floor. Oh, okay. So for those salesperson who are actually constantly moving, or I think probably they are always out of the office. So how do they actually benefit from these automation tools? I think probably that's a question. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess generally, besides automation, a lot of automations too are tagged to CRM. So if a salesperson is always on the go, there's two benefits. One, literally all you need to do is set up the system and the automation process when you are not on the go, and then let it run for you even when you are on the go. So it's like, let's say today I'm fully packed with a lot of face-to-face meeting outside. The automation, the emails can still be sent out when you are out there networking and meeting people. So that's one of the beauties, right? Because you just need to set up the system and the process once. Second benefit is that a lot of automations are linked to CRM. When you're on the go, they have mobile apps. So we also have mobile apps, but you can update what happens about in the sales meeting on the go. So I guess that's really some of the key benefits about what automations with CRM can do for businesses.
Yep, I think we got a correct question from him. Yeah, so hope that you answered your question. Yeah, so I think let's proceed to the next question. So I think a lot of businesses, they were not ready transform their business by using automation tools or even CRM. So how should they actually prepare for the next wave, other than this pandemic? So what kind of technology or what kind of trends they should start to learn or adapt in the future, so that they can actually catch up with the changes in this environment? Yeah.
Okay, so I think one thing that we have observed also have evolved is the way of communications. The way of communications are changing. I give you an example, right? Like never would I have imagined talking to voice bots. So we know our chat bots. Now there are things called voice bots. Like you literally could be talking to somebody and actually it's a bot. Yeah. So what I believe a salesperson would have to really specialize, do well is to specialize in either a particular industry or have a particular skill set that they could value add to businesses more. So I give you an example, right? So in our space, in CRM is very wide. You can play the product CRM space, the marketing CRM space, sales CRM. But I chose to stick firmly to sales CRM for the past 7 years because this is when you focus on one thing, you get really good at it because you get a lot more case studies and you get to see a lot more like transformation, and all this knowledge are something that people cannot replace. And because of this knowledge, people trust you as the trusted advisor and the go-to person for, let's say, if any businesses want to digitize sales process, in Singapore, they would think like, oh, Charmain is the one to go to because I have been in this space for 7 years. So I think specializing in something, it's going to be super duper important.
Yeah. So I hope that so for those who are in this scene, hope that you're ready and you are kind of willing to take a step forward, to prepare for the change in this environment. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah. So I think after that, we'll just jump to the question from the floor, which has been asked way before this session, so asked by the audiences. So I think the first question is that how does marketing automation help improve the quality of leads that are passed from the marketing to the sales? Yeah, I think many of the department or even the company have this kind of problem, right? So how do you actually solve that with automation?
So I think before starting solving automation, we need to solve by process first. So a lot of times, we need to understand like what's the purpose of like this marketing person, inside salesperson or sales development rep. We need to be very clear to them that it's about qualifying a lead. Now, so how can marketing automation really help improve the quality of the leads? It's when we guide them through how to qualify a lead. That's one. And that's for the person. And second, from a technology angle, I mean, I can share with you some of the case studies, right? So we do know that on internet, there's this thing called data crawler, whereby you can start crawling like data of people, like their emails, like hunter.io, or like example, their contact details, like tools like Apollo, Rocket Reach. And these are just crawlers for contacts. Now, these contacts are cold leads, which means they have never known you before. You happen to find them because they fulfill your industry or your target ideal customer profile. So what do we then do is that we send out an email and say, hey, I think you guys are from a particular industry. We see certain relevancy in what we have to offer. Would you like to opt in to know more and to learn from us? So marketing automation is then used to identify what we call the marketing qualified leads, which is the businesses that are interested in learning more about digital sales, learning more about CRM, learning more about automations. And only then when you bring them through a nurturing process. And they always say in this statement, right, like before a sale happen, a person will already have heard your brand, heard about you 7 times, because these 7 touch points create trust. So marketing automation help to first build trust and credibility to help and ease the sale of a salesperson. So I guess that's what marketing automation does. You make a lot of like cold outbound methods become inbound.
Understand. Yeah. Hope we answered your question, like how you kind of, to manage your processes in between marketing and also sales department. All right. So I think the next question is a bit long. So what happens if prospects aren't quite ready to engage with the sales, and how can you ensure they don't get lost in the funnel and consequently get picked by your competitors?
Okay. So you're asking like, how do they make sure that
if the prospect, they are not ready to engage with you, right? But they don't hope that these people you have captured, eventually they go to your competitor. So is there any ways that you could actually advise on this, like to make sure that your leads is still under yours, not to your competitors?
I think I think, to be honest, it's open market lah. Like in CRM, it's naturally Salesforce will know us, you will know Salesforce, your business will go to HubSpot, Salesforce. But what keep them with us, I think it's really about. So one thing that I always told my team, right? Focus on value first. Focus on always giving value. Focus on educating before selling. There's this one phrase in sales: is the best salesperson do not sell. It's very ironic and oxymoron, right? But it's real. Because a best salesperson provide advice, consulting, or even education, give them a new knowledge they do not know before. So therefore, I would say that it's an open market. Just keep focusing on your track, constantly educating and value adding. The sale will come naturally.
Understand. Yeah, I think kind of agree what I've mentioned. Like the best kind of sales are not done through. You kind of got convinced instead of people are selling stuff to you. Yeah, I think that's how I feel always, that when I met a good salesperson. Yeah, I think here comes one final question before ending session. So when should I start implementing a sales marketing automation platform? So probably I think what he or she is asking is that at which stage of your company you can actually start to implement sales and marketing automation. Yeah.
When should I start implementing a sales marketing automation? Okay, I would say that. So many businesses say like, okay, maybe I should do it only like after I get a lot of sale. I actually would say day one. Reason being, why do you want to wait and make more money later on rather than make more money now? And also second thing is that this thing called return on time investment. We all heard of return on investment, ROI, and something else called ROTI, return on time investment. Now, if you were to invest time to build a system today, which you had to build anyway down the road, why not do it now? Because then every lead become an asset. Yeah. So I guess the summary is make every lead count, make every process work. So I would say
I think you don't wait until you accumulate kind of a list, then kind of large amount of list, then you think that, okay, maybe it's time to automate it. I think probably that may be too late for you to sort out what we have been captured before that, I guess.
Yes.
I see. All right. So I think I hope that it answered your question as well. So I think that's the final question. So I hope that for those who are in B2B sales and marketing scene, and you kind of get more insight or even a first-hand insight of what has been happening right after the pandemic or during the pandemic, how has it changed? I hope that you guys could actually learn something for this session. If you have any more questions, because Charmain is in this committee as well, so if you have any questions, so feel free to just drop in the comment box or even ask anyone in this group. So I think everyone will be happy to help out. Yeah. All right. So thank you so much, Charmain, once again for your time.
Thank you.
Everyone say bye to Charmain.
Bye.
All right. So I think before we end the session, so as usual, we have something from OpenAcademy team to you. So we have this app. It's called OpenAcademy app. So it's an app that has contents by practitioners from various industries in bite size. And you can learn something in just under 5 minutes, as is shown in the slide. So it's currently available on the App Store and Google Play Store. So there's this QR code over here. So once you scan this QR code, you should be able to directly link to your respective App Store or Play Store to download the app. All right. So right now we are running a promotion just for you guys, and we have free premium account to be given out to you in OpenAcademy app. So all you need to do is just to download and to verify your account, and you'll get a free premium access until end of 2021. So you may be wondering what are the contents in the app. All right. So I'll just walk you through quickly. So these are some of the practitioners who have worked with us in the app, and you may find that content in there. So you may find topics like digital marketing, branding, entrepreneurship, or even startups, or even leadership, and more contents in the app itself. So how the experience like is that just watch one short video or a series in kind of an Instagram story format with quizzes, or even podcast and article, let's say it suits to your mode of learning. So just join 100 practitioners in this industry so that they will share more tips, ideas, or insights on what they do in just a few minutes. All right. So here comes the end of the session. So we are going to announce who's next in the Fireside chat next week. So please stay tuned in the group, and we'll let you know soon. All right. So thank you so much once again for your time for this session. So I hope that you learned something in this session as well. So hope to see you guys next week. All right, bye-bye.